Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, you're not gonna want to miss my 5 mistakes I wish I had avoided when starting off on YouTube. So mistake number 1 in my list is actually something that will completely change your mindset regarding YouTube, especially as a small YouTuber. So let's get straight into it. Number 5 in my list is not creating searchable content. Okay, when I used to do YouTube, I used to think, oh, this is a cool idea. Oh, this is a cool idea, and then make a YouTube video on it. The thing with YouTube is that it's owned by Google. Google is a search engine, so it only makes sense that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And so, you know, what do you and I use search engines for? We use it to search for information, to answer our problems, or we use it for entertainment.
Your Mac friend, Brent Rambo.
And so again, number 5 is not creating searchable content. If you're not creating searchable content on YouTube, that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that you're making right now. As a new YouTuber, you have to make searchable content. It's very hard to grow on YouTube if you're not creating searchable content and you're just posting random videos that no one cares about. Because it makes sense, right? If no one cares about the videos that you're making or the content topics that you're creating videos on, then they're not gonna find your video because they're not searching for it. So it only makes sense, right? Make sure you're making searchable content. Now, number 4 on my list is not being consistent. A lot of the times I get, DMs through Instagram or emails or my students asking me, how often should I post on YouTube? So this kind of relates to, consistency on YouTube. And I tell them, it doesn't matter how often you post on YouTube, just be consistent. So consistent, what does that mean? That can mean posting every day. That can mean posting 3 times a week. That can mean posting every other day. That can mean posting once a week or once a month, okay? But the goal is to be consistent. In a super ideal scenario, if you can post every single day on YouTube, that is the best way to grow, okay? But as human beings, you and I posting a video every single day, it's kind of hard. Right? It's hard to do that. You don't want to be a victim of burnout just because you're posting every single day. But if you can post every single day, which is very, very hard, even for me, even on this channel, I go some weeks period without posting sometimes. And that's because, as individuals, we're busy. But if you can post ideally every day, that would be the most ideal. But if you can't, you have to kind of consider your priorities, consider your, what's going on in your life. Can you really handle posting 3 times a week without it, decreasing your quality of life? If so, then yes, post 3 times a week. If you can only post once a week just because you're so busy with work and school, for example, then yes, post once a week. And I know people who run channels that post once a week, once a month, every day and every other day, and they still reach success on YouTube to some extent. YouTube is based on data though. So the more videos that you have out there, the more data that you're gonna have and the more data that you're gonna be able to capitalize on. If you can post daily, that would be the best. I'm trying to post more frequently, but again, don't be a victim of burnout on YouTube. Do fit a posting schedule that fits with your schedule. And don't really worry about what your quote-unquote competition is doing in terms of how often they post. The third mistake that people often make on YouTube, especially when starting, is that they get attracted to really shiny objects, okay? So what I mean by this is that they think that gear is super important.
I need it!
So they're looking at fancy cameras, they're looking at fancy lighting, they're looking at really good and expensive microphones. Gear, when it comes to YouTube, it's important to some extent, okay? But let me break it down for you. All you need is a camera. You need a camera, which can be your phone, okay? So if you're starting on YouTube, use your smartphone as long as it films in 1080p HD quality. The next thing you need is light. Your best source of light, a window. Natural light is a phenomenal source of light in which you don't need to buy artificial light stands, like which I have right here, okay? The only reason I have this here is because I used to do product photography a couple of years ago, and so I had a light stand already. Now, as for your microphone, the microphone is probably one of the things that you would need to buy, but even so, my microphone here that you see here, this was only 20 bucks. And I do know that it actually increased the price about 10 bucks now, so now it's 30 bucks. But because sound quality is very important when it comes to filming videos, yeah, you're gonna probably need to buy a microphone. Other than that, you probably need maybe a tripod stand, which can be, maybe 50 bucks at most. But yeah, other than that, you really don't need those really big shiny objects. You don't need a $3,000 camera. You don't need a $500 microphone. You don't need a $100 light stand setup. The people who watch your videos on YouTube, as long as your visuals are clear and your audio is crisp. That's what they care about. And what they care about mostly is the information that you're going to be able to provide to them. So don't think that you have to get the most expensive camera or the most expensive lens in order to make your videos look good. It will look better, but it only looks better because you know it looks better. Does that make sense? It only looks better because you know you bought that lens that makes your video quality look better. People who actually watch your YouTube videos, they're not saying, oh, this guy's using a really good lens and that's why this video looks so good. They're watching your video for the information. So instead of focusing on shiny objects or gear to buy, focus on really providing quality and informational content. That's what matters more. You don't have to give a huge upfront investment, you know, $7,000 or more, $3,000 or more just to get started on YouTube. A lot of the things, especially, you know, sunlight, your iPhone as a camera, you probably just need a stand, and then you need a microphone. That can probably be budgeted for less than $150 or less in order to get started on YouTube at a quality level.
Now let's see how it looks so far. The time.
Second to last mistake that people make on YouTube is focusing too much on being perfect with their videos. So here's my great example of this. You filmed your video, and that's fantastic, okay? You filmed your video, and now you're about to edit your video, and it takes you like 8 hours just to edit your one video. So what went wrong? You got really, you know, caught up in the fancy transitions, really nitpicky when it comes to adding text here, adding images there. When in reality, people who watch your videos, they notice those things. However, in an alternate reality, if you didn't input those fancy edits, they wouldn't know that you didn't include those edits. So what I mean by that is that don't focus on being perfect, especially when it comes to the editing process on YouTube. People don't know what perfect edits look like on your channel. So pretend you spend, you know, 10 plus hours editing your first YouTube video and you think it's absolutely perfect. When people watch that video on YouTube, they're gonna watch it. They may think like, wow, this is a really, really good video, but I know for a fact there's gonna be people who watch that quote unquote, what you think is perfect video. And they're gonna think, okay, thanks for the quality content. I really like the quality of the video and the information that you provided. On to the next YouTube video. It's not worth putting substantially a lot more time into video edits when it's not going to make the biggest difference. And that's why I follow something called the 80-20 rule. I make my videos 80% quality using the 20% time that it would have taken if I were to make my videos absolutely perfect, which is 100%. But in order to fulfill that 100% quality of a video, that's going to take the remaining 80% of my time. So I really value time, especially when it comes to these YouTube videos. And I really try to focus on like really jam-packed information that people would perceive as valuable. But at the same time, I don't spend a lot of time editing my videos. And that's because as long as the information there, as long as it's being relayed, and as long as people are intaking it, that's what matters to me. You know, I want to help people with YouTube. So I'm here to help people on YouTube. I'm not here to show them, you know, fancy edits, fancy transitions, all these images. I'm not here to do that. That leads me to my last mistake that I'm really hoping you avoid, which is worrying too much about the competition. So competition on YouTube, okay? As a small YouTuber, I've said this before in previous videos, you're going to get most of your views from non-subscribers. It's inevitable. You don't have subscribers, so obviously you're gonna get views from non-subscribers. So when people watch your YouTube videos, three main traffic sources that are going to be funneling traffic to your YouTube videos is search traffic, browse traffic, and suggested traffic. A lot of times when your videos go viral or they start gaining a lot of views all of a sudden, there's a good chance that that video appeared in suggested traffic. And with suggested traffic, you're able to see through YouTube analytics, you can click on suggested traffic, then click on see more, and then click the exact videos and links to those videos that are linking viewers to watch your video. So by looking at those titles that are referring or suggesting viewers to your video, it only makes sense that it's similar videos to your video that your competitors are posting that are giving your videos views. And the good thing is that your competition, quote unquote, their videos will be promoting your videos essentially in time. So it only makes sense that your competition is actually helping you. So what people perceive as competition, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way, you know? In the search traffic route of YouTube, yeah, there's gonna be videos ranking for #1 that you have to compete with. There's gonna be videos ranking for #2 that you have to compete with. But don't worry so much about search traffic. Worry about making quality content. Worry about making a good thumbnail, a good title, increasing your click-through rate, increasing your audience retention. That's what matters, okay? Because your competition competition essentially, especially if your video is good enough. If your videos are good enough, it's going to appear in browse traffic, it's going to appear in search engine traffic, and your quote unquote competitors' videos are going to start suggesting viewers to watch your videos, and they really can't do anything about that. Your video may appear on the right hand side third bar column, and again, your competitor quote unquote can't do anything about that. So that's the good thing about competition. I really don't worry about saturation. If I feel like I can elaborate on a topic a lot that's already been created before, then I'm going to elaborate a lot on a topic that's already created before. And of course, I'm subjectively going to make it better, but hopefully the idea is that those old videos, ones that are older than mine, will start promoting or suggesting my video that is very similar to theirs. That is all I have for this video, everyone, when it comes to the 5 mistakes that I wish I avoided when I started on YouTube. I hope you avoid them too. And if you have any questions, comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.